So in today's video, we're going to look at how to go from this to this in one click. The main thing that makes the difference here is the bevel modifier. But turn this off and on, you can see it makes a great difference. More specifically, it's the limit method that I'm using here as weight rather than the default, which would be angle. Angle just looks for any change in direction of these faces, and if it has an angle of more than whatever you set, it will apply a bevel. But here I'm using weight, which, while this is one click, you do have to do a little bit of setup while you're modelling, but it's always good to do it as you go. So in edit mode, you can see all these blue lines, and you can see some are a darker shade of blue than others. So to apply bevel weights to these edges, you need to hit your N key to open up your tools on the right hand side, and under your item transform tools you're going to have vertex data and edge data. We're only interested in the edge data, and then this bevel weight. How we apply this weight to an edge is you select the edge or edges that you would like to apply it to, and you can simply just set this to whatever you need. By setting this to 0, it takes off the weight completely. Set it to 1. It gives the full effect of the bevel. Here you can see my bevel amount is set to 0.0458, so that is the amount of bevel that you will see here at 1. You've got to think of this as like 100% of this amount. Here I have this set to 0.34, so you've got to think of this as 34% of this amount. It creates a tighter bevel in these areas where the edges are a lot closer together, and having a large bevel will cause artifacts and overlapping geometry. You can see here you can do Shift G for your select similar and select bevel. You're going to select everything that has the same bevel weight as the edge that you have selected, and then you can come in here and say maybe it needs to be a little bit tighter and bring that down, and now all of them should be 0.3. You can see here, if I set all of these to 1, that's when you start to get the issues of the overlapping geometry. If I was to turn on wireframe, you can see there's a lot of issues. So that's why you would turn this down to something like 0.3 to avoid those overlapping edges. There's a few advantages to this workflow. Like here you can see it works with your booleans, like it still keeps those edges sharp without causing too many artifacts. You can see there's some here which would be cleaned up later in the process. It also works very well with a subdivision surface modifier. It can be used as opposed to the crease, which is a different way of controlling your subdivision, but by creating these bevels and making sure the bevel modifier is before the subdivision modifier, it will control the shape of the subdivision. As you can see, if I turn this off, it will completely change the shape. So that bevel controls the shape of the subdivision, and it allows you to have much nicer shapes, which is really useful later down the line when it comes to creating a high-low poly bake. All you need to do is turn off these modifiers for your low poly and bake in the modifiers for the high poly. Thanks for watching, and if you're looking for more helpful tips or even personalised help with Blender, visit our website obsessiveart.co.uk.